Hello, random stranger, and welcome to episode 2 of Made in Abyss. So, last episode was quite a feast for the eyes in terms of the world building, and we got our first glimpse of the Abyss and the beautiful city that's been built around it over the last 1900 years. We met Rico, a red whistle and natural troublemaker who has seemingly gathered around her also a band of fellow mischief makers. It seems she's keeping quite a few secrets from the adults that are in charge of the orphanage, particularly in relation to the relics that she's been sent down into the abyss to raid. And I don't know, it feels suspiciously like she's going to be the type to upend the entire existing social order or something. Then there was Reg, so called by Rico, who is a robot but with strange human-like skin and who has some pretty spectacular powers, like that huge fire beam laser that he used to save Rico with, and as well as a couple of handy extendable limbs. I feel with Reg there's going to be some interesting questions around what is human and what is not, as well as key questions around the abyss tied to the fact that he doesn't appear to be from Rico's society. Maybe he's a relic of the abyss himself. On top of our characters, I find the parameters of the society that we're facing quite interesting. So settings wise, their level of technology seems to be kind of pre-industrial in some ways, with like the old school water and wind powered mills, but it also has elements of I guess steampunk, so with the mechanical air balloons and the mine shafts, and also the availability of electricity, which is interesting. Socially, there are so many questions. Why are these kids being sent down to mine these relics, and why do they then get sold to provide income for an orphanage? That's weird. Why do none of the adults question the ethics around this? What is the origin story of the relics? Were they left behind by some long-lost civilization? And what happened to all the other adults? Like, how did they all die? And tonally, as several of you commented in the last episode, this is definitely not a kids' show, despite the seemingly kid-like characters and just the overall visual brightness of the show. So with all of these questions sort of floating in my head, I'm looking forward to diving into this next episode with you guys. Okay, remember this is a time-synced reaction, so I will count us down in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, the star compass was the relic that Rico kept for herself. That reveals the secret of the abyss. By her mum? I have a feeling it's connected to her missing mum. Oh no, this is the real opening. Because I remember last episode there was this beautiful song that they played at the very start. Was it? Or was the end? I don't remember. Maybe they played this song at the very end of the last episode in the credits. It's so beautiful looking, like, and these are probably the top layers of the abyss, right? I'm assuming. So the top layers are all nice with flowers and animals and cute things, and then the deeper you go, the darker it gets, like literally, but also, you know, mentally or spiritually, whatever. These two make a good pairing. Very different personalities. Rico's like really out there, whereas Reg is just, you know, the chill one. I think I'm Reg in this situation. Oh, was that her mum? Was that Rico's mum? Like, couldn't really see her face. Oh wow. See that diagram of the abyss? It looks so much like Dante's Inferno, like the visual diagrams that you have if you look up. Okay, so it's kind of like deep sea diving. Oh, goodness. The loss of your humanity. That's an interesting way to put it. Okay, was it 6 or 7 layers? The curse of the abyss. If you're not human, you can survive. That's interesting. That's right, Reg is memory loss. The weird thing is they're still sending kids down to die, basically, despite all of these symptoms. Oh. Yeah, so is Reg a relic? They're talking about him as if he's not human. So it's a bit of a superhuman. Wow, she's really studied him and tried to drill through him. Oh no. No, 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 no. I feel like someone needs to teach Rico about consent. Oh, he's a bundle of relics. Oh, so he is a relic. An Orbad. I feel bad for him. Because he's got like a full-blown consciousness. These kids have it tough, man. They've got classes and they have to work. Probably they don't get to keep their income. That's like full-blown corporate exploitation. See, he doesn't act robot-like. How are you gonna explain those 2 streaks down your cheeks, mate? Okay, so there's slum sections and there's like rich sections in the city of Orth. Leader looks like the sharp type. Also, obeyed, it's a very familiar term. Has some special meaning. I just can't think of it right at the moment. There's the evil looking director. All the best students sleep in class. This is nice, relaxing. Is that being tied up? Yeah, I'm not feeling all that stuff, like the being tied up and all that. What the? Those are like the size of their heads. Ain't no one gonna eat a rice ball that big. I feel like that was a not so subtle hint as to the kind of show this is. Wait, who's that? Oh, it's her, my auntie. The inverted forest. Wow, that's gonna do your head in a bit. Is it really that great to be a white whistle? I feel like there's something more sinister going on. What kind of writing is that? It's interesting. It looks like really old Chinese. It's like a hypothecary or something. Okay, so there are adults in this society. It's not like they're all. Oh God, Reg, don't. Okay, so he still needs to learn some subtlety in terms of concealing his powers. Hubble. Okay, so it's an actual country. It's not just a city. It's like a licensing system. They're on their learner's license. I really love the design of all these buildings. It's kind of a weird amalgamation of 15th century European with a bit of modern thrown in there. I don't know. Wow, that was quick. Why does he have a bell around his neck, kind of like a dog? Naruhozo. I do want to meet this uncle. Oh, that's so cool. They've got like a, what is that? Like a landing strip? A welcome strip? Yeah, see, this stuff is really steampunky. It's really cool. All this celebrity culture around. Oh, he's got a black whistle. No, that's a white whistle. Is that her mum's? Liza the Annihilator. Yeah, that's interesting choice of word. It's her mum. I guess that means she's dead. It seems like a whistle is something you never part with unless you die. Oh wow, all of these. It's so interesting. It's like part of their mythology and their culture. Is that Liza? I wonder how many white whistles there have been. Nether stars. Okay, so there have been a few. Oh wow. So they're monster slayers as well. I guess you'd have to be if you want to survive down there. Well, that's quite some nose. It's just like a whole business built. Oh, I don't know, guys. That adds to the whole exploitation aspect of it because I don't know, they're making money off dead legendary whistles, like selling some merch, buy a t-shirt, some mugs. And they've got all these customs built around whistles and what happens when they die, so obviously it happens a lot. It's sad. It's a sealed document and yet they're examining it. No privacy in this society. Maybe Liza found something that's damning of the, I don't know, existing authorities. Resurrection Festival. Oh. I wonder how old Rico is actually meant to be. Okay, 2 years old. But who was the person behind the legend? That's the interesting bit. Interesting. I didn't expect that. Maybe that's why she's so successful because, weirdos do great things. You've got to be a bit weird to sort of think outside the box. Hmm. Oh, interesting. Maybe they're eyes that are made to see in the abyss. Okay, so she's about 14. Oh, it was like a birth defect. The country's powers that be. So I feel like it all starts from there, all of that exploitation. Oh, and there's different countries sort of competing in the same abyss. Ah. Okay, that was a lot. There's a lot of backstory. Oh, that is a very interesting piece of information. You're still human. First repelling vessel. Oh. Do I have to sacrifice? Whoa. So it goes to the city and not the person who found it. That's little leader. Oh. It's hard to grow up in the shadows of someone who's so great. Wait, so did her mum die? But her mum made it back up to the surface though. With her. Then how did she die? No, please say them. Damn it. It's just gonna unravel that ball of mystery bit by bit. So it seems like her mother's death is not confirmed yet, but it's probably pretty much a certainty. Here we go. It just feels really weird that the authorities have to check everything before it gets sent to the people, or, her. Okay, so Leader is pretty much her dad. No, why? Why can't they just read it in private? Oh, okay. Look at that castle. But it's her letter. Oh my goodness. They've kind of dissected it. What is that? It's an interesting text. It's very pictorial. Oh. What happens to you down there? So her mum's right at the bottom? And some... What is this? It's so cute. It's so different to the general tone of the show. It kind of sounds like it's Rico and Reg singing it. I have just recently learned that it's very common for voice actors to actually do the openings and the ending songs, so I wouldn't be surprised. Japanese voice actors are incredibly talented. Oh, who's that? This is a third character. Obviously, this a creature from the abyss. See, this song is just making the abyss look such like a happy, wonderful place to explore. Those are stars. Must be that upside down place. Yeah, and at the bottom of the abyss is like a bed of flowers that you can just sleep on with your friends and have nice dreams on. Okay, so they're right. Okay, two things really stood out to me this episode. So, one, of course, is the backstory that we got around Riko's parents. The fact that she was born down on the fourth level of the abyss was a pretty big reveal. So it turns out that her mum, Liza the Annihilator, which is quite a title, is, the legendary White Whistle, and she was sent on some kind of mission by the powers that be to retrieve the unheard bell. Something, of course, went really wrong with the mission. For one, it took like 10 months. There were clashes with foreign cave raiders, and most of them died, whether or not due to monsters that are down there or because they were just straight up murdered by the other raiders is left unclear. So all of that added a really interesting twist because now you have some kind of political conflict thrown into the mix. It feels like the cave raiders are the frontliners of the much larger political conflict that is being carried out by people who don't hesitate to send them down to their deaths for their own purposes. And doesn't that just sound so very familiar to us in our world? It is clear that the raiders have to pay these huge personal costs for what they do. It is not clear that they're doing this completely of their own free will. Back to what happened to Riko after she was born down in the abyss. So Liza abandoned another special relic just so that she could bring Riko home. And it seemed, just from the way that Lita told the story, that this was a huge no-no. This putting your own kid ahead of the well-being of the city in terms of the wealth that they would have gotten from the relic. And then we're just left hanging as to what happened next. It seems Liza, the badass that she sounds to be, went to settle some old score with a foreign country, and then after that, who knows? The other thing that I found really intriguing, concerning, is that this country that Riko lives in or serves, I guess, as a whistle in training, seems to be a dictatorship with like the monitoring of personal mail and needing to have an observer watch you as you read that mail, the weird propaganda type cultural festivals that they have, the stories that they feed kids. I'm not saying at all that celebrations of national import are what dictatorships do. Obviously, that's not the case. It's just the vibe that they gave by painting becoming a whistle as this really great monumental achievement without also going into the dark, dirty side of it was a bit strange. All in all, the mystery thickens, and I can't wait for episode 3 to reveal more answers or potentially, possibly just raise up even more questions. I hope you guys enjoyed that episode, and until next time, which actually should be just before Christmas, stay safe and take care.